Rise and grind. This cigar surprised me. Let's have this conversation. And so my friends, this video is for my friends, just to share some entertainment, just to share some encouragement, just to share a little bit of education to my friends. I was shocked when I had this cigar. Without any further ado, we're talking about the Tatuaje Black Label. Now, it's made by Pete Johnson. I know Tatuaje is a well-loved company, but for my profile, for my taste buds, I haven't been loving them. You know me, I'm looking for a very particular profile. And so I haven't really been loving the Tatuaje cigars. And so I've always passed up on this until I didn't. And I realized that I'd been making a huge mistake. I've been walking past this cigar. Now, it used to always be a limited edition. And that was one of the things I just didn't like about it. It was always limited, but I tried it. This is now in regular production, and it's a Nicaraguan Puro. I believe this is a Nicaraguan sun-grown. And when I smoked it, I loved it. And then I started looking into it, and of course, we know that Pete Johnson, most of his tobacco comes from one of my favorites, from Don Pepin of My Father Cigars. And so that should have let me know that I would have liked it, but I kept passing up on it. And so today we want to talk about giving things a try. And so that'll be the focus of our conversation. I could have been enjoying this cigar for such a long time, but I allowed some preconceived notions. Usually Tatuajes are strongest cigars. And so I had the Havana 6, and I had some of them back in the days, 5-10 years ago. And then I just stopped smoking them. But then I smoked this. And so we're gonna have a conversation about this. We'll talk a little bit about the cigar, but mainly about us. Give us something to try. Stop just walking past stuff. Stop just doing what you've always done. But maybe step out of your comfort zone. Step out of your box. Try something different. This cigar is just delicious. And so the Tatuaje Black, made by Pete Johnson, courtesy of Don Pepin Garcia of My Father Cigars. This cigar, I always get these in the Corona Gorda. I believe that Vitola allows you to taste so much of the cigar. This cigar has such a pleasant sweetness on this. First time I smoked this, I said, I'm smoking a black licorice. You get this pleasant, wonderful sweetness on here. It's creamy. It's got some spice on here, so it's a Don Pepin cigar. So you do get some spice on here, but that pleasant, I want to say maybe like a toffee, just a good cigar. And so I passed up on these often. But one time I saw it in a cigar lounge, and I said, you know what? Let me give it a try. Smoked it and just loved it. As soon as I got home, I ordered me some of these, and I've done a video declaring that these are box worthy. Now, what if I hadn't given it a try? What if I just kept passing it up? What if I just kept going to the cigars that I always smoke? What if we started just giving things a try? I think a lot of us, the reason why we're so stuck where we are and we're still where we used to be is because we keep trying the same thing over and over. I look at just so many things. I look at companies. I look at some content creators just doing the same thing over and over. I'm a pastor. I look at some churches just trying the same thing over and over, and oftentimes without any success. They say that's what insanity is, doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Thing about me is I'm not afraid to do something new, to do something different, to try, to step out of that box, step out of my comfort zone, try something that I've never done before. I think in life, you can't be afraid to fail. You can't be afraid to stumble. You can't be afraid to experiment, but you just gotta go and just do it. Then I look at my entire channel. I started out doing one thing and I said, what if I tried maybe some cigars? What if I tried maybe talking about cognac? What if I just tried just sharing my opinion and my honest thoughts? What if I just did something what if I just tried something different? Maybe it would work. You see, here's the thing about doing something different. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, but at least you tried. At least you learned. Because if you just keep doing the same thing over and over, you're gonna get the same results. And if you want that mediocrity, if you're okay with complacency, if you just want to be average, then I suppose you just keep doing what you've been doing. But for those who rise and those who grind, sometimes we just gotta step out. Just try something, experiment. It's okay. It's okay to fail. But it's not okay to not try. This cigar, I've smoked so many of these. The construction on all of them have been perfect. The draw on them, especially in this Corona Gordo size, I just love this Vitola. It's long enough to enjoy a smoke. Give me about a good 45 minutes. And the taste on here. And so it's not as thin as a Lancero, but it's not a big old, it's not as big as a Toro, obviously. It's that perfect Vitola. If you got, it makes a great second cigar. It makes a great, let's say a nightcap cigar. I really enjoy this for the taste, for the flavor, and particularly for the size of this. But as I think about those who just stepped out and did something different, I think about all the great cigar makers. I think about the Pete Johnsons of the world, the Don Pepins, the Padrons, all those who have just stepped out and just tried something different. Instead of just doing the same thing over and over. I appreciate those, the Steve Jobs, the Elon Musk, those who said, you know what, let's try something different. Let's invent something. Let's think about things that have never been thought about before. Let's just push that envelope. Let's keep trying. As we look at our world, looking at all the great content creators, looking at the Kai Sanans, looking at all these people who are on platforms doing things we never thought about. They tried it. And now they're successful. And now our lives are made just a little bit better because they tried something. You can think about those who invented cures and vaccines. Men and women who just tried something. They weren't okay with just studying what everyone has already done. They didn't want to just keep following the same old blueprint. But they saw a need. They saw a vacuum. They saw things that needed to be done. And then they tried it. And of course, yes, they failed. Of course, they had to keep experimenting. Of course, sometimes it just doesn't work. We see that with cigars. They come out with a blend and that blend doesn't work, so then they've got to scrap it. And then they come out with a different blend and they keep trying and trying. That's the same thing if you're a cook. That's the same thing with any industry. You got to keep on trying. You see, the shame in life is when you stop trying. The shame in life is when you just give up and you just settle. They say you only live once, but I don't believe that. I think that those who don't try, I think they are dying every single day. I think they live a life where there's just death and there's just death by 1,000 cuts because they know that they can be pushing it and doing something and trying something and having new experiences. But every day they just wake up and accept the mediocrity. You see, to me, that is dying every day. And that's a life that I would never want to live. You see, I live a life of just trying new stuff, different stuff, pushing me, doing stuff I never thought was possible. 3 years ago, I never thought I would have a YouTube channel. but I tried it. 10 years ago, I never thought I'd be a preacher, but I tried it. Life's about not just settling. Because I believe when you settle, when you stop living. And so for me, for those who rise, for those who grind, we got to keep trying. Try different stuff, new stuff. And so what does that have to do with the cigar? I saw the cigar one day and I said, let me give it a try. And a lot of the cigars that I now smoke and enjoy, I wouldn't have given them a try because they didn't fit my profile. They aren't medium bodied. They aren't Habanos or maybe a Sumatra. You see, I didn't allow my preconceived notions to stop me from experimenting and having some new experiences. And so I encourage you to do that. If you are new on your cigar journey, just try some different stuff. And if you're like me, you've been doing this for 10, 15 years, you can always try. Sometimes we may have smoked a cigar 10 years ago and now we're thinking, I don't like those cigars. And we say silly things like that. But I'm always going to try something. So yes, I am always trying an AJ cigar. I'm always trying a Dunbarton cigar. I'm always trying, even if the Cohiba New World comes out with a new cigar, I'll at least try it. It's okay to try something and to learn that you don't like it. It's okay to try a new meal and learn that you don't like that type of food. It's okay to try a cigar. Because maybe you'll confirm that, yes, I don't like this. But maybe you open yourself up to a whole new realm of cigars. And so just in having this, I said, well, let me try some of the other Tatuajes. And so then I tried the Tatuaje. There's this blue. And so I tried that one and I was reminded that I really like that. And now I'm going on a whole new journey. Now there's all these cigars that I can now try, experience, and enjoy. That doesn't happen when you don't experiment. That doesn't happen when you don't step out of your comfort zone. That doesn't happen when you don't try new things. And so my friends, I'm enjoying my Tatuaje Black. This is definitely box worthy. And so I'm gonna make sure I keep a box of these on hand. Every time I smoke one of these, I just smile at myself. Think about as they came out with all these limited releases over the years and I kept passing up on them. What if I had tried them? How much better my cigar journey would have been. And so keep trying stuff, my friends. Don't be stuck in yesterday. Don't be stuck in mediocrity. Don't be stuck in your own habits, but try some new things. And so we thank you for your time. Check us out on our Patreon. That's where I really do my experiments. That's where I do stuff where I'm not afraid to fail. And so we put up content over there that I don't even think would fit mainstream YouTube. So check out the Patreon. That's where you see a man experimenting, having different conversations, trying different things, different wines, scotches, cigars, just trying something new, something different. So check us out on our Patreon and leave in the comment. Let me know, has there been a cigar that you passed up on, but you gave it a try? Now you love it. Let me know about your experiments. My friends, it's okay to try. It's okay to stumble. It's even okay to fail. But it's not okay to settle. And so we hope we've helped you. If we've helped you, help us back. Hit like, leave a comment. Join this community of people who just experiment. We are the risk takers. We're the ones who push that envelope. We're the ones who keep on trying. And so if you want to join such a community, hit the subscribe button, like, comment, subscribe. But most importantly, rise and grind.